everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with myself, Matt Likes Games, and my buddy Ham Solo 05 Gaming. Got topics to talk about this week. Obviously, some pretty big topics. But before we get into any of that stuff, the intros. Ham, how you doing? What's going on? What have you been playing?
I'm doing a lot better than the people in Florida right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
There's like 500,000 people without power. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrifying.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not here to be a meteorologist. I'm just here to tell you that it's not looking good down there at all. But anyways, I'm doing fine. I just got done driving all dang day to go take care of some health things, and
Yeah.
I haven't really got to do too much today other than that. Outside of today, yesterday I completed the demo of Metaphor Refantasio, which that game comes out this Friday, and I really enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Persona, you're gonna love this game, but I think the story is more mature, I'd say. I don't know if I'd say like more mature in the sense of like inappropriateness, like because Persona can be pretty inappropriate sometimes, but like more mature in the sense of like not really like kids or anything. Like it's all like adults, like it's a lot of adults trying to figure out how they're gonna essentially save a kingdom. There are kids in it, and there are kids that are big parts of it, but it's not like a bunch of high school kids. You know what I mean? It's like a bunch of adults and like adolescent year people, like trying to figure out how this kingdom is gonna continue on with the discourse that's kind of going. I don't really want to give up the story, because the story I think is really interesting, and the art that they did in the game with that story just goes together so well.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it to anybody that's into turn-based. It's pretty fast-paced. It can be slow sometimes because of the story, but like as for the actual gameplay itself, it's pretty fast-paced and it's nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, seems like everybody's hyped for it. I know Tuan is just he can't believe it. He can't believe his luck. So yeah, what's his at? Like a 94 on Metacritic or something? Like a
That's the
94,
last I've
95?
seen it at. It could have went down to a 93 or up to a 95 for all I know, but I mean, I don't really need it to go up or down any higher for me to know that it makes sense to me around that area. Like being around that area makes sense, and it's a lavish and large, like if any of you guys that are listening to those games like from Atlas and stuff like that are pretty long, and this is right down that same alley. I mean, the demo of this game alone took me a hot minute. I'm actually going to look up and see how many hours I put into the demo. And might I
Yeah.
add, like, I kind of pushed at the end. I didn't like super rush it, but like once I knew that I was like kind of towards the the ending parts, I was like, I just like kind of shoved through it, and it was great.
Mhm.
I have no idea how much time that I did on it because it's a demo, and I'm not sure if the demo will.
Allows you to check.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the demo allows me to check, but I'm gonna check anyways, and I'll
Well,
find out.
I can tell you, I saw the reports of people saying it takes about 80 hours for just the main story, forgetting the side content,
That sounds about right.
which is insane. That's pretty insane.
That
That's
sounds
like,
about right. I mean, I had like 120, 130, maybe a little bit more time that I put into Persona 5 by itself. So, I mean, that doesn't sound too crazy to me, I guess.
okay, gotcha. Well, so with Metaphor coming out and doing as well as it's seemingly doing, uh, does it change your stance on anything for Game of the Year? Do you think that what do you think is Game of the Year?
Man, it's so hard for me to say. Right now on the Xbox app, it's sitting at a 4.9. That's crazy.
4.9 out of 5, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not, I'm not surprised. I'm not too
Sitting at a
surprised.
4.9. That's insane. Um Xbox is over here pumping up the numbers to make the Japanese happy. But 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 yeah, I don't think I'll be able to check my time on it, unfortunately. But what was your question?
What do you think wins Game of does this change anything about your feelings of Game of the Year? Do you think, or what do you think wins Game of the Year? I guess a better way to put it.
Um, uh, I think right now where it stands. Are you asking about the game of the year or my game of the year?
Well, let's do both because I'm going to give you both. I'm going to give you mine, and then I'm going to give you what I think is actually going to probably win at the Keeleys.
Okay, so far, I would say that this seems like it could be the game of the year, and I think it's nudging out like Black Myth and Astrobot
Mhm.
and Final Fantasy because I feel like Final Fantasy was not only late to the party but also not as good as Sega, so it was like a double slap to the face.
Yeah.
But hold on, let me turn down this crap. Not sure if it's coming through or not.
Yeah, a little bit.
But for myself, I would probably still say because I haven't beat Metaphor yet, right? And from the trailer that I've seen after I beat the demo, there seems that there's a lot more crazier stuff that game offers. So like I
Mhm.
don't feel like I don't feel like saying it's the game of the year is like appropriate because I don't feel like I mean, even
Yeah.
though I may have put like 10 plus hours in the demo, which I
Mhm.
did, I don't feel like that'd be a good thing for me just to be like, oh, it's the game of the year. But
Yeah.
what I am gonna say is the game of the year for me so far is probably still Space Marine.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I'm trying to remember what else all came out this year. Um, but yeah, Space Marine. I mean, Yeah, and I'm kind of giving it to that because that's the game that I beat and enjoyed the most, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm far enough in Astrobot to where I can kind of rate that game because it's kind of rinse and repeat after a while. I feel like Astrobot did really good, but like for me personally, it would be something like Space Marine so far, but I probably won't end the year like that, if I'm being honest. It's probably going to
Mhm.
be something else by the end of the year. And that
Yeah.
kind of attributes to me finishing some of these games. Some of the games that are listed to come out not being out yet. I'm expecting big things from Stalker.
Mhm.
Even Flight Sim, I'm expecting big things. I never thought I'd say it, but there's a possibility that Flight Sim could be my game of the year. That is very much a possibility right now. And I'm saying that because like this year I feel like not a lot of my type of games came out, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I feel like it's been a year of good games, but not like my favorite games. I
Sure.
found myself like catching up on my backlog a lot this year. And like Senua was really good, but like it's out of my top 3 right now.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma was amazing. That's like on the cusp. That's like right next to Hellblade, in my opinion. Both great games, totally different type of games, but both great games. Helldivers, really good game too. I feel like these are all in like the B tier for me. It's like Helldivers, Senua, um, Dragon's Dogma. I don't know about Final Fantasy because I haven't played it. Was there uh college football's like in the C category? Because that didn't surprise me as much as I wish it would have. But yeah, A category right now, I'd have to give it to Astrobot because I'm not really big into platformers, and that was really fun and easy to conceptualize and play. And like I could just turn it on and have a good time. It's really easy to do, and it used all of the features of what the PlayStation 5 was made for. So I mean I got to give them their flowers.
Mhm.
Um, let's see, Space Marines right there because for me it's just like that game. I don't see myself taking it off of my hard drive anytime soon. It has too many different modes, which I can't say about a lot of games. Being the PvP and co-op campaign, like it kind of gives you that like I don't know, like damn near like a Gears of War or like Halo kind of like amount of like attention to detail and game modes and stuff like that. Like it's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
and what was the one other game that I wanted to throw up there? Trying to yeah, I'm just gonna stop right there. I'm just gonna go on
All
ahead and
right.
stop right there because like that's just kind of how I feel. Like things are just kind of up in the air for me right now. So like I'm keeping it safe, and um that's what Space Marine is to me. Is it's a fun, safe, easy decision for me for game of the year so far.
Okay. So you said something interesting about like your opinion might change by the end of the year. So
Probably.
right now I've got it's a toss up between Space Marine 2 and Dragon's Dogma 2. Uh and depending on how I'm feeling, it can be either one of those. Uh I guess if I had to pick right now, I'd probably say Dragon's Dogma. but then also like right after I beat Space Marine 2 and I was playing a lot of that, it was Space Marine 2. It kind of just depends on how I'm feeling. It's one of those two games for me. I would agree that it would my choice could change for sure. And I kind of expect it to. In fact, I fully expect it to. I think by the end of the year, my game of the year will be Stalker 2.
You think so?
Yeah, I fully expect that.
I wonder how Indiana Jones is gonna creep up.
Indiana Jones, like I have a lot of confidence in them, just
I
because
do
it's
too.
Machine Games. Like Machine Games, I mean, the only game you could say they missed on was Wolfenstein Youngblood, and it's like, well, I mean, come on, like that game should have never been made. Let's be real. But outside of that, like the rebooted Wolfenstein games, like them doing Indiana Jones, I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for the fact that it's first person because that's a really unique take on it that I don't think we would see too many studios be willing to do. So I'm pretty excited for that. I think that'll be. I don't think that'll be my game of the year, but I think that's going to be one of my favorite games of the year.
What's that? What game?
I said I don't think Indy will be the game of the year for
Oh
me,
yeah,
but I think it'll be one of my favorite games this year.
I had a lapse in
Um,
memory of what we were talking about for like a second.
no, you're good. You're good. So I think right now it's either Dragon's Dogma 2 or Space Marine 2. I think it's going to end up being Stalker 2. But if I have to pick what I think is actually going to win, I'll tell you what. I thought for sure it was going to be Astrobot. But Refantasio seems to be doing great, seems to be doing quite amazing. People are incredibly hyped for it. It's also multi-platform. It's going to be playable more than just one place. I think it probably edges out Astrobot for the win. I'll tell you what I'm. You know what? All this could be completely moot because it could end up being like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It could totally end up being Rebirth. But I think it'll probably be Metaphor, given what people are saying about it right now and how much they seem to love it, playing the demo and everything before launch. But we'll see how that goes. As for myself, I've been playing, and I'm just going to go through what I've been playing real quick before we get into the actual topics here. You can see it on screen. I've been playing a decent amount of Halo because there's a lot of Halo news. And you know what? Screw it. That's really all I've been playing. We're going to hop right into the Halo news because there's stuff that we talked about already, like multiple times this week. But then there's also stuff, I don't know if you saw, that came out today.
I haven't seen anything today. I've been on the road.
So this is a rumor. I saw this from GPN Gaming News. And I think I saw it from a few other places reported on it, but I have this one specifically bookmarked on my Twitter. It says rumor before switching to Unreal 5, a sequel to Halo Infinite was in production. 343 Industries started developing Halo Infinite 2 using the Slipspace engine. Work progressed until late 2022 when new leadership took over and opted to switch to Unreal 5. In January 2023, Microsoft laid off the entire creative team due to budget cuts and the project's lack of progress. Halo Infinite 2 was being developed alongside Project Tatanka, but both were ultimately canceled to allow for a reboot or new direction for the franchise. So, again, that's just a rumor. That could be true or false, but it is a reported rumor.
If that's true, I'm honestly, I don't know how much my wife loves it, but like I'm honestly happy.
Okay.
Like because like if they're bitching and moaning so much about Slipspace and that engine, and then they're going to make another game on it, which I understand you have some understanding with it and stuff by then. But like it still doesn't help the problem that is on like onboarding. It still doesn't address that issue.
Yeah.
So like and then on top of it, Like you said it in part of the statement. They weren't that far in production on it, and it wasn't going very fast.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so you're gonna make a whole nother game that's gonna take another like 6 to 8 months to come out with a new season?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think so. So like I'm happy that they opted to just say, like obviously I don't feel good for people losing their jobs. That's never great. But
Yeah, for sure.
hey, if it's for the better, it's for the better. And I'm not finna mourn over people's jobs because of that. Because I mean, if it was for the better and I worked there, I'm sure people would be like, get him out of there. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not for the better, then it's for the worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Can't be both.
so I'm like, when I hear that, I'm a little bit bummed, but I totally understand because I'll go for the negative part first. Why I'm a little bit bummed. Um, because it's like I thought Halo Infinite story was really good. People like it. I'm kind of surprised how many people, because when it launched, everybody seemed to be like in unison agreeing that it was a really good story. And then like now a couple years later, there's this weird retrospective where actually Halo Infinite story was terrible. It's like, well, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Because a couple years ago, everybody was saying it was good. So which one is it really? But that being beside the point, like I thought it was good. And I thought and think that that story totally deserves, especially the way it ended. That story totally deserves to have a follow up. Like, and that's not to say that they can't, um, you know, they can't revisit the story at a later date, right? Because they
Sure.
totally can do that. But you know, and here's where it starts to make sense because you mentioned the slip space engine. It was being built on the slip space engine. Well, if you got all this work done on the slip space engine and your studio unanimously agrees that hey, we should move to Unreal, well, then you kind of got to throw it out. You kind of just got to throw out what you had, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, from what I hear, that kind of stuff happens all the time, unfortunately. Maybe not for 343 in particular, but with game companies all over the place. Like, an idea will come. I mean, hell, it almost happened to Hi Fi Rush too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
it's
just like,
very
I,
close.
I mean, think about, I mean, we just got done talking about not that long ago, and I'm not trying to like harp on them at all, but like Twisted Metal, Spider-Man multiplayer, like things that sounded like no duh to us to make.
Mhm.
They're like they're scrapping, and it's all these dang companies. And I mean, that still isn't exactly 343 in particular. I mean, now Halo Studios, but it kind of goes to the like magnitude of the hard decisions that have to be made at these big companies with million if not trillion, not trillion, million if not $1 billion worth of money in IP, like
Yeah.
in like in just the namesake. Like, I could easily anticipate a Halo generating a billion.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Easily Spider-Man, same thing, right? Twisted Metal, maybe not, but like there's but there's enough direction within the lore of the world to make it possible. So it's not like impossible to do. That game has a lot of history and a lot of lore. If you do it right, it could be $1 billion. But what I'm saying is Halo and something like Spider-Man, that doesn't have to try as hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you just do it right, people will just naturally come to it.
Yes. 100%. And that's kind of where my negative thoughts on this kind of turn more neutral, if not positive, because what I just read there was also like they mentioned, both obviously Halo Infinite 2 and Project Tatanka were both ultimately canceled to allow for a reboot or new direction for the franchise. I think a new direction kind of stinks in the sense that, okay, we're not going to get Halo Infinite 2, but I think also if you're switching to a whole new engine, it's kind of necessary. It's like once you decided you're switching to a new engine, then you've kind of already decided that, at least in my mind, you've kind of already decided, okay, well, we need to fully reboot this thing,
Right.
kind of deal. Like Halo
Um,
Infinite was a soft reboot, and now it didn't work out, and now you got to go full hard like reset kind of thing.
gotta go hard.
And I think that's where I get a little bit optimistic because I'm like, well, if it's done right, like anything, if you do it right, you put the yeah, you saw that, right? Just
Yeah, it
fucking
was
shot
terrible.
myself right into. Dude, I die a lot on this part, by the way, so you're gonna see plenty of that. But if you do it right, and you know, like, there's no reason it can't be one of the top FPS games again. It's just one of those things you got to do it right and you got to stick to it. And
Yeah.
that's something we didn't see with the previous 343 management. For all the stuff they did right and all the stuff they did wrong, they never really stuck to it. There was no like sticking to things with old 343. It was like, okay, we did this, they didn't like it, now we got to scramble to fix it and do something that they do like, oh crap, they didn't like that either, now we got to scramble and fix it and do something that they do like
Yeah, they should have
versus
changed their name to 404 because they had constantly had errors. It seemed
they
like
really did. They really did.
because it was just like nothing was ever good enough. Like even the things that they thought up themselves, they weren't proud of, and that's weird to me. If
Yes.
if you can't ever just tell, like, if I were to email Kojima and tell him how stupid it is to have somebody from another TV show be in your video game being Norman Reedus, he would laugh and probably, I mean, first of all, he probably wouldn't even read the note. But I'm just saying, like, if he did read the note, he would cackle and say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Possibly rip it if he even wants to expense the energy and throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And 343 didn't do that. They took
Yeah.
it personal. And they tried to
Yes.
and they always tried to fix it instead of just being like, no, this is what we're doing and we're happy with it. And then on top of it, like, you guys made a point, what was it, yesterday or something that I didn't notice until very recent, and like I feel like foolish not knowing. But yeah, I don't remember the last time there was blood in Halo.
Yeah.
Like,
They
I
took
didn't think about that until you guys said it, and I was like, as a matter of fact, there was a ton of blood back in the day, and it's just like,
lots of it.
so like, it's not that I'm saying, hey, you need to be like Gears of War gore, but
Yeah.
like, you gotta stop saying stuff like you want it to be like the old while implementing new things that make it less of than what it was.
Yeah. Agree. I like, and it's little things like that, but it's also like, I don't know. They have this weird. They're like 343. I'm not talking about Halo Studios, but 343 as they were always had this thing that they were trying to please everybody, and I feel like they never realized at one point that you're talking to the Halo. You're trying to please everyone in the Halo community. That is literally fucking impossible. You could do objectively great things, and there are people within the Halo community who hate it, and they hate you, and you're never going to be good enough, and you better quit trying. Like it doesn't. So like this attitude that they have of like, or had, I don't know if they still have it. We'll have to see, but that they very much had of like, we need to make this something that every single person loves. And if we don't make something that every single person loves, well, then we got to course correct and figure out what they do love so that we can make that. And then it's just this never ending cycle because nobody ever loves everything all the time. Nobody does. So, like, hopefully that's an issue that isn't so present with Halo Studios that, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be because you look at the head of the studio, Pierre Heinz. Like I said, my favorite thing about that dude is that he's not out here telling me what they're going to do. He doesn't do interviews. The only reason we ever heard his voice is because he had to make this announcement. Outside of that, we probably never would have heard his voice. He probably just would have never said anything. So
yeah,
like,
you can tell that he isn't like a like a super proud public speaker. Like public speaking doesn't get his, doesn't get him super like enthralled, right? Like you were talking about Bonnie Ross and how she was on the screen like all the time. And like some people feed off of that, right? They like to conversate back and forth. They like to get feedback, and they like to try to adapt to like whatever you're trying to do. Pierre seems like one of those, like, I don't know him at all clearly, but he seems like one of those bros that he's just like, dude, go the fuck over there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do this right now. Just leave me alone. Let me get this done. Like, he seems like one of those kind of guys. And like that is interesting, right? It kind of reminded me when I heard him talk, it reminded me of listening to the Ninja Theory guys talk.
Yeah.
Where it was just like you could tell that they're proud, but they're also kind of uncomfortable.
They're there to work, not talk.
And I get it. Like, I mean, it's more than just like, like that's the way it is. As it's also like you just got named the lead of this studio that was built for you. So there's a possibility that he could have been just nervous as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like he seemed fairly comfortable. He just wasn't really. He just doesn't seem like he's about that talking like that, and I like that. I really do.
Yeah, I like the comparison of Ninja Theory because much like Ninja Theory, the old head of the studio was very much was although I'd probably say even more than Bonnie Ross. I forget the name of that guy and he's a good guy, like he's a really cool guy, but like he was kind of like a rock star. Or he kind of talked and like presented himself like he was a rock, like he was.
Yeah, you're talking about the dude that had all the bitches and stuff like that on Instagram.
Yeah, that guy. He's just like he's one of those dudes who seems like he fucking loves the attention. He loves that shit. And then he leaves, and then you're left with all these guys who are just like kind of the antithesis of that. Head down, get to work. We're gonna put out the thing that we want to put out. And 34, and I keep saying 343, but Halo Studios now seems to be very much more in that direction. Head down, put out our work. And the difference,
didn't it?
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know how much we can really re-harp on it because we've talked about it so many times this week, but that's like one of the things that has me most excited. Is just you got a fresh start, new name and everything, because whether you like 343's games or not, there's really no denying that name was tainted. There's not much you can do. Like, you could make the greatest game of all time as long as it's made by 343 Industries. you're going to get shit for it. So, fresh start. You got a new name. Sounds like you're going to be rebooting the franchise. Something fresh, something, a little bit of something fresh, a little bit of something familiar. You've got the template, assuming they're doing a CE remake. Just go out there, make it happen, and let the chips fall where they may, kind of thing. And I'm pretty excited for that. Also, multiple projects in the works. I know we've talked about that too, but like, just it feels like it's been forever since we've been able to like confirm that there are multiple things in the Halo universe being made at one time. Like, I think the last time we got that was Halo Wars 2. And even then, I think they made Halo Wars 2 and then went to Infinite. So, but it's an exciting time for Halo, all in all. But unless you have anything else to say about Halo, we can move on a little bit to what we got next here, which is actually the Stalker documentary. I wanted to talk about that because I brought it up on Monday and nobody watched it. Nobody
I still
watched it.
haven't finished it.
Oh my god! Oh wait, how did you make it further?
I'm like halfway into it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but what are you thinking so far? What you've seen? How you feeling? Nope.
Sorry, my daughter ran up on me.
Oh, you're good.
Let's see. So that documentary, it's sad.
Yeah.
I guess I think that kind of summarizes most of it for me. Is when I think of that, I think of sad, but I also think of like triumphant as well.
Yeah.
Like how like the presence of mind to do something like that in the situation that you're in. You got to be a little nuts, and you definitely got to care.
Yeah.
So like I just kind of respected that, and it made me want to support them even more. It makes me want to support them more than my wallet can handle.
Yeah. Same.
Like, to be honest, like if I could, I would get the whole backpack and everything and
Yeah.
just go all out because they've been through a lot and I feel like they deserve that. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give them that much. But I'll definitely um buy their game. Just I won't be able to do that extremely expensive package. Got a lot of other stuff I need to pay for right now. But
Yeah.
they are definitely on my radar more now than ever before, and the amount of respect I have for that studio just tenfold.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of in the exact same spot. Like, if the world was perfect and I could, I would absolutely be buying that because that shit's almost $400, like $380, right?
Yeah,
Like, if I could swing it right now, I would absolutely, no questions asked, be buying that. Because I mean, outside of just supporting them, that also looks like a pretty badass package of things to have,
I'm getting fucking
just in general.
lasered.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a pretty cool fucking assortment of stuff to have. But like, I mean, I'm a pay for what I can pay for. I'm gonna for sure get the digital ultimate edition because that comes with the 2 expansions as well as obviously the game and everything and extra bonus DLC or whatever they're doing for that. Vinny, what's up? Appreciate you for stopping by. But yeah, dude, that documentary, like there's so many emotions watching that documentary. Like it goes from like optimistic and hopeful, making the game, everybody's loving it, to like sad, and obviously, a war happened. And then like in the middle of war to going like hopeful, and like there's just it's a fucking roller coaster, that documentary.
I need to watch the rest tonight. Like I need to make a point to do it. I actually legitimately forgot. Like I watched half of it and it was a good time, and the last weekend I just kind of forgot.
Yeah, dude. If honestly, I'd watch that and the Discord with you. I'd watch that again. I for sure do that. If you're trying to watch that, because that documentary is amazing. But let's see what else we've got here. Oh, are you excited for
Oh no.
Red Dead coming to PC? Are you
Oh
pumped?
no, I don't care about that. I mean,
What'd you think I was gonna say?
I thought like there's gonna be like some like Lego topic of some sort,
Oh no, oh, no.
or something cool like that.
Yeah,
But
I'm sick.
something extremely sick.
Sad.
But as for what's that game that you just named?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead. Yeah. I already own that game on Xbox, and I'm fine with it. Like, I mean,
Sure.
I'm not looking. If I was looking to play that today, sure.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather go back to Red Dead 2 than play Red Dead 1. Like Red Dead 1's a great game. But
Hmm.
like personally, I just like all the updates and stuff that they did to Red Dead 2. That it like if I was gonna return to a game, I'd probably rather return to that one. Um it I mean, I feel the same way when it comes to like if somebody said you want to play Borderlands 1 or 2, I'd choose 2.
Yeah.
Just because like I like the upgrade package that they did from 1 to 2. I don't feel the same way about 3. I like 3, but I liked my Siren in 1. The way they did the Siren in I mean not in 1 and 2. The way they did the Siren in 2 is just so much better than what that stupid Siren in 3. I hated that Siren. Hated it. And then they killed my favorite character. All right, we're getting off topic. Yeah. Let's talk about something else.
I feel you. I feel you. Let me see here. I got another one. Goodness gracious, where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh yeah, did you see well, I know your answer to this one, but I'm gonna ask you just for the show purposes. Are you hyped to hop back into Diablo 4?
Nope.
Vessel
Nope.
Vessel he says
Nope.
no. No, not at all. Oh
Nah,
my
man, I'm
god.
past. I'm past that game now. I overspent to get it, and I like it. It's fun. It's just I don't need that much content for that game, to be honest. And like, I'm not saying that they should stop coming out with content. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's not my kind of game to stick to that like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what I played with it though. But with all these other games on the cusp, um, I'm easily more excited with some of the other games that have been that are going to be coming out. I'm trying to remember. Let's see.
With the games that are be coming out?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just nah. I mean, it was an exciting game last year because it kind of came out. It came out before Starfield. It came out before games I really wanted to play. Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to play Diablo, and I got that little. I got the whole extra, like the season pass and everything, because I just thought I would stick to it a little bit harder, and I did stick to it pretty hard. But I think the letdown came when I had to restart my character, and it just never came back. Like it was
Yeah, I get that.
it was kind of like the end of the Survivor where they put your fire out. Like that's kind of what it felt like. Like it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, you got to play a brand new character, and I was like, I mean, like I was down to make a new character on my own volition at some point. Like making a new character in that game's fun,
Mhm.
but being forced to make a new character that's not the same.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And then
That's the opposite.
I don't know, man. It just it, that kind of took the wind out of me. And I know a lot of Diablo people would be like, "Oh, well, shows how much you know about Diablo." And I'd have to say, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know shit about the game." And I'm fine with that. Um I'm 100% fine with that. But yeah, I didn't know that, and that was a big deal. That was a tide changer for me right
Yeah. Cause like I did the same thing as you. I think we both got the ultimate edition of that game. Cause like, dude, the whole beta or whatever you want to call it, the tech test or whatever they were doing, like we were hooked on that. We were we like that shit had its claws in us.
Oh yeah, I repeatedly max leveled character.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I've never played Diablo 4. This is fucking incredible. To the point where when the tech test was over, I was like, I got to buy all the Diablo games because I got to figure out a way to keep playing. And then Diablo 4 came out, and I was like, this is incredible, especially like when like you're playing the story for the first time. It's like the story's great, the cutscenes are amazing, the game itself is fun as hell, especially if you're playing with friends. And then, like, once I beat it, I was like, "Oh, I've already beat the story. Okay, well, at least there's a new season coming." And then the new season comes, like, you gotta make a whole new character. And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that. I don't care to. I don't care to do that." But like people seem to like the new DLC or whatever. It seems to be doing very well. Vinny says it's wild how they ruined Diablo 4 so quick. See, like I don't even feel like I played it long enough to know that they ruined it or anything. Cause like it was really only the first month that I was really heavy playing Diablo 4. And then once I beat it, and then once the season came out and they were like, you gotta restart the character, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, ruined it for me is different. I mean, maybe that's what Vinny's saying is like, ruined it for him. Like I don't know, like
Mhm.
because like it ruined it for me as well. Like having to restart and do that kind of ruined that like kind of took the wind out of my sails on it. But like as I said, if I would have knew better, right? If I would have knew, oh, this is something that they do all the time. Well, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of at fault for not doing a little bit more research on it, right? Kind of like somebody that goes out and pays $60 for Ark Survival Evolved, never seen the game, never played the game. And it's like, bro, you got a big storm coming. You got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
to figure out, and I don't even know if you're gonna have fun by the time you figure it all out. Uh Oh yeah, yeah, I can agree with Vinny on that one for sure. He said they ruined it by nerfing everything in slow progression. Slow progression definitely was like the uppercut at that finish him moment of like Mortal Kombat, because it's
Mhm.
just like not only did I work so hard on my character, it took a minute to get like all of that, all those levels and everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like them coming out with a new season, then asking me to do that again. Yeah, I agree with any then on that in that aspect, 100%. Because I was just like, bro, I'm not doing that again. And I remember Mike just the other day was saying it's much faster now, but I'm just like, yo, like it's kind of like saying there's a new Halo season out. It's like, okay, I mean, it's a little too fucking late for that.
Yeah, that's cool for the people still playing, but that don't do much for me to get me interested in playing again. Like that's something you gotta have ready when I'm playing it. Like it's gotta be fat, like especially for me, because dude, I got ADHD. If I stall out at like a level for like days at a time, my brain is cooked at that point. I'm ready to just play literally anything else. at that point. So, yeah, I could definitely see what Vinny's saying when it comes to that for sure. Did you see? Well, I think last week it was. Microsoft is seeking feedback from studios that aren't on Xbox.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny to me. I wonder what the answer is. It's like, well, because you won't help us. Because you won't help us.
I was talking to Loke about that in particular, and to me, it sounds like somebody up top needs proof. That's what it sounds like to me, because it's like if I were trying, if I were if I was a resident of a busy street downtown, and I noticed my street in particular, all the other streets are great, but my street has a pothole on it. I go up and tell the city manager, "Hey, fix the pothole," and they're like, "We'll get to it." If I show back up with 50,000 signatures saying this pothole is fucking our cars up, then you might actually get something done. And that's what it kind of sounds like to me a little bit, where it's just like they're seeking something, but essentially what they need to do is prove that they have an issue, because certain people, and we've heard this from Seamus Blackley, we've heard this from Peter Moore, we heard this from all sorts of different people, that Microsoft just, I mean, we've even we didn't hear it maybe directly, but we kind of got hinted to it from Phil Spencer, that sometimes they don't know what they got and how to maneuver and do things, and they expect people to come to them and not for them to go to the people.
Yeah.
So with that attitude, you have a lot of arrogance, and with a lot of arrogance, what happens when you tell somebody, like there's a tornado down the street and they're narcissists, right? Or they're not narcissists, but they just don't believe shit that anybody says unless they see it for themselves. You have to shove the motherfucker out the goddamn house and be like, "Yo, tornado right there."
Yeah.
Before then, but before then, they, oh shit, yeah, I should probably do something about that. That's what Microsoft reminds me of. It's just a bunch of people that just they need to prove, because they're so used to they're so used to making money without even trying.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody that's at Microsoft made that company. You know what I mean? So where's the hunger? Sometimes you have to like after so long of any company, you need a reality check. And I feel like this is a good time to kind of have a reality check in some areas, because the world's changing so much. And if you don't hurry up and fix your issues, someone's going to pass you right by.
Yeah. Definitely. It's all I know is it's good that they're like, it's good that somebody there's like, yo, this is a problem, and we need you guys to tell us why it's a problem so that we can actually address it and like acknowledge that it is a problem. Because I can't remember if I said it in the party or not, but like it's silly that the developers for, I forget the name of the game, but they're like, developers came out recently and were like, hey, we're actually running into issues with the certification process. We want to ship it on Xbox, but we actually can't. It's
that Souls game.
Yeah, it's nuts that they have to come out on Twitter to say that, and then like it goes by Phil Spencer's desk, and then Phil Spencer's got to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? He's because Phil's got to get that and be like, yo, how do they want to be on Xbox, but we aren't allowing them to be on Xbox? How is this slipping through the cracks? How are we doing this? And hopefully this, hopefully your theory's right and this gets them whatever they need to get so they can prove that, this is actually a problem that needs like addressed on a pretty large scale. But yeah, hopefully that leads to good things. I also just saw this scrolling through. This is kind of nothing to do with that, but I did see that the original Stalker games will release for Switch this month, which is interesting, but I guess makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, as for like Stalker being like the original Stalker being strong, I mean, being like the Switch being good enough to run that, it definitely can.
Yeah,
It definitely can.
it absolutely can.
Dude, I
Oh,
totally
this
thought he was gonna throw you into that and it's gonna explode.
no, I set him up because he beat the shit out of me the first time. I set him up and watch this shit because he gets wrecked. He gets wrecked. I get that rocket launcher, I shoot those things, and he's just screwed. He don't know what to do. But yeah, I mean, that's about all of the news for this week, except for I guess the
Oh my god.
Ubisofts. That's the news for this week. Oh my god, it actually
Dude.
shows me saving the clip too. That's great. But yeah, man. I mean, let's get into the actual outros, get up out of here, play some games. But start us off, man. Where can they find you? What's going on? Are you streaming tomorrow night?
I should be. I don't see why not. But yeah. I should be doing that tomorrow, and then Friday, bullshitting as usual with the usual suspects. Me, Matt Cozy, Loke, and Mental if he can make it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully this Saturday, my wife can get back to Halo.
Nice. Nice. So as for myself, and by the way, you can find TSWS Gaming, the link to that channel in the description. Check that out. And as for
Yeah.
myself, you can find me here, obviously, every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, both days. First for the L3R3 podcast, and then for the two-player podcast that we have here today with Ham Solo and myself. And then on Fridays, I'm on Ham's channel for Bullset, 4 p.m. Eastern. Like he just mentioned, Loke, Cozy, Mental 9R, him, and myself, usually a guest sometimes. But that's an awesome time. Come by, check it out. That's where you can find me. We're going to get up out of here, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.